guys, here, welcome to the GTA 5 car episode. Today we have the Lampadati Casco going against Coquette Classic. Of course, this is what you guys were requesting a lot, and of course I'm working on other requests as we speak. These do take time to put together, and of course running the test multiple times on the track to get the appropriate lap time for the absolute limit takes a bit of time as well. Of course, I've also put the prices down as well to take into consideration, which I forgot to do in the previous episode. The more I do this episode, the more I learn, the more I improve. I try to improve this series with the episodes so you guys get a better understanding of the two cars in different situations and perspectives. So starting off with the handling with Coquette Classic, feels extremely heavy around corners, as if you're trying to drag it across, you know, and the rears tends to quite often stick out due to its poor traction, so you're having to brake early and let the car roll in with its nose, and when you try to straighten up sometimes you get that little bit understeer as well, and that's sort of the downside to its car, of course. And obviously talking opposed to the Casco, on the other hand, it's got a perfect balance between the two, and pretty much overall handling is really well balanced. It gives the freedom, but there's a lot of car control involved, but you can predict the mistakes that you will make if you do end up doing it, because you know it's got its awesome turning circle where you can really control all of that with just the braking, and it responds really well, especially when carrying a lot of speeds generate through the acceleration. But here's the thing though, the launch speed on the Casco is greater than the Coquette Classic due to its traction. However, the initial acceleration on the Coquette Classic is better than the Casco, but the general top speed does take time for the Casco to actually end up overtaking. So if you guys can sort of get a perspective between the two in a racing point of view, considering the handling and the responsiveness of the Casco, and then its initial acceleration and its traction, as opposed to the Coquette Classic's general acceleration is there, but of course it's got minimal gears, so when it reaches its top speed, that's pretty much it, you're screwed. So if you're given a straight for more than, let's say, 30 seconds, that's where the downside begins with the Coquette Classic. But the Coquette Classic actually does require a lot more to pay attention to, just because of its immensely reduced traction. You know, your car can easily snap, and when it does, when you're having to recover due to its initial weight, it can become extremely uncomfortable. But generally speaking, the torque there obviously is greater than the Casco. And now for the damage test, durability test, sorry, where we placed the ambulance the same distance for both vehicles and tested it 3 times at initial impact. And it turns out, although obviously the damage logs for the GTA car files have been screwed up because of the Heists DLC, so the initial impact can still be shown by these tests, and you can see which one receives the most beating from those 3 attempts given for each one. And turns out Casco certainly got bullied there, and of course Coquette Classic's only sort of change was the rear bumper slightly deteriorated, but still was hooked on. But this would be a complete different situation if the Heists DLC didn't come out and the damage actually was there, properly done. But you know, slight little bugs of course, but we still have to deal with that, and that's just the way it goes. Of course, customization, Coquette Classic hands down takes a variety of options given. Of course, for this is where the interesting thing comes into play with the lap time test, because taking everything into consideration, along with its performance handling, you know, that we figured, you know, Coquette Classic's handling is not that great when having to drag it around these tight sections because of its weight and having to control its traction. So you're losing a lot of time. Of course, you're not really optimizing acceleration there, and provided by its torque can pull uphill, so you sort of compensate for that. Now you can really see where the Casco is dominating. It's pretty much on these corners, you know, really going in and going out as quickly as possible due to its nimbleness and its turning circle and its speed carry, along with its acceleration. Tiny car, it's literally like a wasp, and it's extremely light, so it's extremely easy to maneuver. And that's where the comfort comes into play, of course, along with this help with its traction, so really not having to pay attention that much. But of course you still have to with both cars, but Coquette Classic you're having to pay attention a lot more than general cars in the game itself. It is one of the toughest cars to drive to be consistent with, definitely, if you want to be quick with Coquette Classic. So there is an element of skill factor there. It's quite unique to that car. There's quite a few other cars in the game that require that, of course, like the slam banding. A lot of cars that don't have that much traction can really, you know, drain a lot of energy from you. So in this situation, you can see it's pretty close between the two. And of course, considering the fact that there's a lot more to pay attention to the Coquette Classic, and it still sort of loses out with all this testing. Casco comfortably takes it by about 1 second. So That's a general overview between the two, but I'd slightly change up the ending here for the future episodes as well, so you guys get a point of view of two different sides. So this is where you can see the Casco actually takes it for the racing side, and generally speaking, for overall, the Coquette Classic is pretty damn awesome as well. So let me know what you guys think of both of these. Like I said, the damage is still scaled for the durability test. It's just a few things are bugged with it, visually speaking, but we can still get somewhat of an overview of how they are durable with each other. So we're going to still keep that going, guys, if you're in doubt. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Shall you sign out? Good night. Peace. Yeah. Oh, and if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out the Z-Type versus Casco annotation screen. It'll take you straight to the video. I'll see you guys there. It's quite interesting comparison between the two, of course, knowing Z-Type is quite dominant within sports classics. So, yeah!